Welcome to the Boomer Briefing Podcast, where we help you solve a critical business issue in 20 minutes or less. I'm your host, Jim Boomer, CEO at BoomerConsulting, and we have a special episode in a series of Get to Know the Boomer team. So I'm joined here today by Erin McCormick. Hi, Erin. Thanks for being on the episode. So glad to have you.
Hello, how are you?
Doing well. So Erin is a director here at Boomer, and I could list everything she did, but I think that'd take up all our 20 minutes. So today we're going to get to know Erin a little bit better. Many of you who have worked with Boomer in the past have probably either met her or at least received an email from her. But Erin, why don't you kick us off by telling our audience a little bit more about yourself, what you do at Boomer, how long you've been here, and the background on kind of how we found you and you found us.
Yeah, so I guess first and foremost, I will have been at Boomer for 12 years this September. So up there with, I think, the others who have been here for a little bit. I would say, going back to what you were saying, there are many hats that I think I wear at Boomer, but I will probably only list three that I think are probably where I spend my most time during the day. First and foremost, I lead our project management team. So the three gals, us, and hopefully with a few more here in the future added on to the department, but really just the lead for that department, overseeing and supervising that team at Boomer. I'm also part of the leadership team, which I also kind of help, I would say, drive more things around accountability and pushing people to get things done, reminding people to get things done, kind of making sure that we are staying straight on the path to what we're trying to succeed. And then probably more recently, anything around client experience has kind of been the big interest, at least in my world, that I'm trying to make part of my role a lot bigger, make it part of my daily roles and responsibilities, identifying ways that we can just make things even better and of more value to our clients. So I would say those are kind of the three areas I think I spend most of my time here at Boomer. Again, sprinkled in some other stuff, which we don't necessarily need to mention. Outside of, I think, the professional piece, I reside in Manhattan, Kansas. I've basically lived here since I went to Kansas State University, so kind of went to school here and never left, very similar to some people within this area. But yeah, I really enjoy being in Manhattan, the small town feel of it. I did get out and about for a little bit. I did go to Emerson College in Boston for a couple years and got my master's there, but ultimately went back to Manhattan. So it's definitely been my home for the good part of probably 20 years, more than anything. So let's see. Have a couple dogs, Porter and Marley. Usually they are sitting right underneath my feet on any given day, especially during the workday. I had to banish them outside of the room, at least for this. But yeah, that's just kind of a little bit of a intro tidbit into my life.
Well, thank you, Erin. Mm-hmm. A few things you left out in the history. You didn't give a shout out to John Hubbard, who always claims that you only got the job because of him, right?
That's true. I did forget how I actually got to be at Boomer. I would accredit John to being a piece of that puzzle. He coincidentally, we had worked at the same place before Boomer, and when I saw the job open for this, not necessarily the position that I'm in now, but the one that I think I started in, I had to send a little communication to him to get a little help, I think, maybe to get into the door. Although I'd like to think that maybe my background and who I am also helped with that. But yeah, I will give some credit to John for helping with that a little bit to get me hired.
I'm just giving you some credit. It's all about like what you brought to the table. I know he always hassles you about that, but
I have a T-shirt too that says that. So we all have Johnism T-shirts. So someday maybe some clients will be able to see those.
Yeah. Well, you talked a little bit about outside of work and where you live and everything, but any hobbies or things you like to do when you're not at Boomer?
Yeah, so I live on a very small lake in northeast Kansas called Lake Elbow. And so I would say, from a hobby, what I like to do once summer rolls around, being outside and being on the lake is probably the biggest thing. Pretty much anyone out here who lives in the neighborhood, there's a reason why you live out here, is because you enjoy being on the water. So I would say getting out and doing anything water related, even if it's just sitting in a raft floating in the lake, is something that I definitely really enjoy. I also do like to, I would say, exercise, but it's more walking. I don't know if I mean, I just like to walk, and I have a really great neighborhood to be able to do that with. My dogs definitely push me to get out and do that as well. And then I think concerts. I really enjoy music. I know Jim and I actually went to a concert together with a group of similar friends a long time ago, which was quite the experience because there was tornadoes and thunderstorms. But yeah, going to concerts, seeing music, really live music, is also, I would say, one of my hobbies or passions that I really enjoy doing.
Yep, yeah, I remember that concert, and I think that was earlier in your days at Boomer, and you were a
Yeah.
little worried about attending a conference with your boss, but it turned out all right, didn't it?
Yeah, it was all good. There was nothing to be worried about once we actually got there and hanging out with everybody, and it was just fine.
Yeah,
No reasons to have butterflies in my stomach or be concerned that somehow I was not going to be working there anymore the following week.
we had a good time. So, if I take it back to Boomer, what do you like most about working at Boomer, both internally with our team and externally with our clients?
Yeah, I think it's pretty simple, at least from an internal perspective. I think it's really about the people. We are very much a family oriented type of business. People take care of each other, we trust each other, we help each other, and we support each other. So that's something where I didn't necessarily have that in some of the other jobs that I had. And, I would honestly say probably the same or similar thing around our external clients, because we also, when you work with them, it's very family oriented type of situation, very trusting conversations, really open conversations, honest conversations. So I would say it goes both ways, which is really good to see.
Yep, yep, I would agree with all of that. So, your proudest or the achievement that you're most proud of, whether that's personal or professional life?
I would say probably on the professional side. So as many people at Boomer probably are aware, normally I would say a more introverted person. And I would say with Boomer, or just being at Boomer, the things that I've gotten to do, or the opportunities, or the you're going to do this and it's going to be okay, has kind of pushed me to be more, I don't even want to say outgoing, but it, built the confidence in terms of, like, being able to talk in a big group setting or do presentations on things that I do know things about, to our clients. So I think it probably goes back to the building of confidence piece is probably a big achievement, looking back at 2011 to 2023, how I was to where I am now is like night and day. So
Well, throughout the years, I've given you a hard time and like announced that you were going to be doing the keynote. And I
yeah.
remember in those early years, you would be running out the door. Now you're like, all right, bring it on. So I would
I still
agree
don't
with
really want to do that at all, but I definitely don't run out the door or, give bad looks.
that. Yeah.
So,
So who's your biggest inspiration? Again, whether personal or professional.
yeah, I think for me, I'll probably say my parents. I've lost both my parents within the past few years and recently. And I think just looking at the type of person I became or are trying to become is because of them. I think they built a certain work ethic in myself and my brothers. They made us extremely independent. Not that you can't rely on people, but I think you look at that, especially when people are out of the picture, and you kind of have to look back on that and push yourself to even more be like that. So I would definitely put them on the list. Just I think the values and things that they instilled in us early on are definitely ones that you have to pull from your bag now, especially when they're not around. So
Yep. Yep. I would agree with that 100%.
Mhm.
All right. What's your favorite place you've ever visited?
Oh gosh, I have a couple. I would say, well, one I visited and actually lived there, so I do enjoy Colorado quite a bit, specifically Manitou Springs, which is outside of Colorado Springs. Just a neat, funky little hippie sort of town, at the base of the mountain. Just a lot of things to do. Again, live music, but outdoor activities that you could basically do something different every single day. So I really did enjoy visiting there. And then, of course, got to live there for a couple of years, which it kind of felt like you were always on vacation, which was kind of a cool thing. Being there. And then on the other side of that, just not the living piece, but I did study abroad when I was in college in Guanajuato, Mexico. Again, just a neat, smaller uh, place where people not a lot of tourists, I guess. I would say it's not the normal tourist destination, and so you get a bit more of the culture and the feel of what an actual town in the middle of Mexico feels like. So I really did enjoy actually, studying there, but part of it was visiting as well. So those
Yeah.
two rank up in the top for me.
Yeah. Immersing yourself in the culture is, it's a scary thing, but it's also a
Mhm.
rewarding thing too. So,
Yes, like had a whole host family and everything, and there was, of course, a bit of a language barrier, but got past that, and it was a great learning experience too.
well, great. Well, what about a place that's on your bucket list that you would love to go, but you haven't?
I would definitely put Ireland up there. I think that's on everybody's bucket list probably. But then I would say outside of Ireland, I think Scotland is probably up there as well. My mom was born in Glasgow, and so she was a product of adoption. And so going there and possibly seeing some of the places that maybe she would have lived, some of the roots associated with that, I think are definitely high up on the list. But either one of those would be kind of a dream come true. Hopefully in the near future, taking some time off to be able to do that.
Yeah, both great places.
hmm
What's your favorite food or drink?
Mexican food, very similar to a lot of people. And then if we're going non-alcoholic, I'm mildly obsessed with Diet Coke. I have to try to taper myself a little bit during the day, but that's probably my favorite drink. And then I would say from an alcoholic perspective, I really do like wine. A lot of boomer people like will go to a bar or something, or be out to dinner at one of our events, and people can generally guess exactly what I'm going to get to drink, and they're like, "Wow, you just don't normally branch out," which I do not.
And
But
you're a red winer, right?
I'm a white winer, a
You're a
Pinot.
white winer.
Yeah, Pinot Grigio. I think everybody else is red, and then I'm
Yeah.
always like, yeah, I can't share the bottle, but I'll get a glass.
That's one way to make sure you get the whole bottle, right?
Yeah, true. Nobody else likes it. Yeah.
What about your favorite place to shop?
Oh gosh, I would say Anthropology. If
Yeah.
people know what that is,
Yeah.
there's not one in Manhattan, thankfully for myself and my wallet, but that would be one of my favorite places to buy things. If I can, I used to get a gift card for my dad every Christmas or every birthday. And so I would have those kind of stockpiled up to make sure when I came to Kansas City, especially for Boomer events, I usually make a little pit stop and peruse through there a little bit. So yeah, that's
Spend a
definitely
little
up there.
money.
Yes, exactly. Which is not, I mean, it is not the least expensive place to go and try to find something, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
People don't
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah. It's crazy to think back at the history, and you talked about you live in Manhattan. And I've got you by a few years. I came to Boomer 17 years ago. And I
Yep.
remember I was the first remote employee, and most everybody else was in Manhattan. And to think today, it's pretty much you and Sandra, right? And the
Yeah,
rest of the
everybody
team
else,
doesn't live in Manhattan, Kansas.
yeah, everyone else has moved to Kansas City, Colorado, yeah, or California. Jacqueline's in California. Yeah, just Sandra and I are the only ones still hanging out here. And she travels, whether it's personal or professional. I oftentimes forget that she's still in town because I just never see her in Manhattan. I see her in Kansas City more often,
Yeah.
or other places that are work related.
Well, Manhattan's a great place, and it holds a special place in my heart, having grown up there. But never eventually made our way back there to live. So,
Yeah,
all right, you want to do a little this or that?
sure.
All right, beach or mountains?
I guess beach, because water. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I also thought I saw the pause because
I know.
with
It's
your
hard.
love of Colorado, that's a tough one.
Like, I don't like Colorado though in the summer. So
Okay,
I think depending on the season, I would probably answer differently. Right now, I'm looking at water, and so
yeah,
and I just like to go to the beach. So
yeah. Okay, now this one's going to be harder because you like water. Um, Lake or ocean?
lake.
Lake over ocean.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Big no to sharks. There's just more in an ocean that I don't know what's underneath me. I know a lot of people would say that's not true because in a lake, normally you can't even see the bottom. But I know what's in this lake, so that's probably why I answer that way.
Yeah. All right, The Office or Office Space?
Oh, did you come up with?
Where do you think that question
I
came from?
know that's an inside joke with us. I feel like The Office.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. That's a really really tough one.
I know this one. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogs. Have
Yeah,
you ever had a cat?
I had a cat named Jellybean not too long ago actually, but I'm pretty sure I'm allergic. And it was kind of an indoor outdoor cat, and I think that's the last that I'll ever have as cats. It ran away. Well, I say it ran away. I'm pretty sure it got eaten by coyotes. So
We'll go with it ran away. That
exactly.
helps you sleep better. I'm with you. I'm a dog person, and I know I'm allergic to cats.
Mhm.
And even though my wife Mary loves cats,
No,
it's a way to keep the cats out of my house. So
stick with dogs.
yeah, chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Jim or Gary? I'm talking about our teammates' cats, of course. I wouldn't make
Oh,
you choose the
I
people.
don't know. I don't know either one of them that well, so I don't know if I can answer that question.
You have to pick one.
um, Probably Jim.
Yes. Erin, you're giving me my first win.
Oh,
I
really?
only have the best I had so far was a tie, but most had chosen Gary. And then
Oh,
they added
really?
on that if it was the people too, they would choose Gary.
That's just being a suck up, I think.
Yeah. Oh, but if truly they're on with me. So anyway,
Yeah.
just ended with a little fun there. So
Yeah, sure.
um, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for your time today, Erin. And thank you to our listeners. If you enjoyed what you heard today, certainly we release a new episode every Tuesday morning. We got to know Erin a little bit better today, but we also cover topics related to talent, leadership, process, technology, and growth. What all those topics have in common, and even today, as you get to know our team better, is that it helps you solve crucial challenges within your firm and set you up for success in 20 minutes or less. So if you liked what you heard today, please subscribe. And I want to thank everybody for listening. And again, thank you so much for being here, Erin.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun.